All right, let's move on.
Yeah, RFK Jr.
RFK
is
Jr.
a
to
great. He's
end
doing a great job.
God's. All right, well that's one take. RFK Jr. to end Godsend Narcan program that helped reduce overdose deaths despite his past heroin addiction. All right. So I don't even have much to say about this. I did crop a couple out, but this really sparks in my mind. Do some people deserve not to be rescued? I don't think so. Do you have any thoughts on that at all? Because this is what this is, right? Like if you
That does feel like that's at the heart of what this is. Yes.
Right, because if you know that if you reduce funding to something, which is something I had written down later on, where it's it's not even a drop in a bucket for the
it's
for the,
$56 million
it's not even a
annual
drop
grant.
right. It's less than a drop in a bucket for money that the government spends. A program that actually does save lives, like if you cut that, is that people saying like I just don't care? You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to see anything else. I don't think anybody here is willing to say that people don't deserve to be rescued. So it's just, I guess it's just bad. It's just bad.
I mean, the title is a little misleading, I will say. So I kind of dug a little deeper because I wanted to see, you know, RFK's direct quote on ending this program. But as far as I understand, there is a budget that's proposed from the Trump admin that includes cutting this program. And obviously RFK is just, he's supporting the administration. I don't think he's even been directly questioned about this yet. That's how fresh this story is, I think. Because I couldn't find anything about him responding to.
Okay, well, we appreciate your DD.
But
I look. First of all, the idea that the idea that someone wrote out it on the chopping block is still tricky.
Yeah.
And also, I think second of all, why are they even? What do you mean? So, I get so confused. It's like, on some things they just fucking cut it without even giving a shit about procedure and process, and then like some things they like put it in a budget and they're being. I guess maybe because this does actually save people's lives. So do you know what I mean? Where like Doge just came in and did whatever the fuck they want, and then sometimes they're like, oh
yeah. Well, this was the one rock that Doge didn't turn over, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get what you mean, though, because it does feel like they've already gone through with fucking scissors and swiped at whatever they can.
Right. So then why would they give a shit about... Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're all forgetting that Doge can't do this, right? This is money that was allocated by Congress.
You're correct.
So you technically can't withhold all this funding. And I think that fight is still going on. So if the Trump admin wants this stuff to stick, they have to enshrine it in a budget, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So maybe this is them trying to do their due diligence. I don't know. But
yeah, who knows?
Yeah, the beating heart of this is fuck homeless people, essentially. That is the beating heart of this.
And I saw it's funny you say that because I saw this like clip the other day. I can't remember who was talking, but there was a couple people talking, and it was like one person who was critical of like California's homeless problem, and another person who's like a documentarian who kind of like I don't know why I can't remember who this was, but they kind of have like first-hand experience and stuff, and they kept questioning the person who was like critical of California. It's like, so then like what is your solution? It's like what is your solution then? Like you're saying this is bad and we need to solve this. It's like, what is your solution? And it's like, I'm pretty sure the answer was just like, oh, like meritocracy, you got to work and they got to find jobs. And it's like, okay, but if you want to live in the world where you just expect that out of people, then you're going to have this. So that you have no solution. So then you have to learn to live with this. You have to learn to live with homeless people in the street. Same with this. It's like, are you just learning? You're just like, oh, well, we just have to learn to live with people who we could have saved, but it's tough. Oh my God. Tricky mindset.
It is. I mean, I do think, obviously this is a Band-Aid to a much deeper problem.
Of course it is.
Narcan. You know what I mean? So I guess there is something to be said that, if you keep having to revive somebody with Narcan, I don't know, obviously something more needs to be done there, right? Like this individual keeps putting themselves.
Yes, but nobody would actually have the answer say, let them die on like the 17th time.
Right.
Don't give them Narcan on the 21st. Nobody would say that. Who says that's ridiculous? Like that's bad.
Some people would say that.
I know, and they're awful because at the end of the day, you should value a human life. You just should. Fuck off. Like that makes no sense to me. And also
makes you wonder.
But also, again, this is another one of those things in life where two things can be true, and this is how we argue about it from two different sides. Where, yes, you also, you're right when you say like if someone's doing the same shit over and over again, like we got to figure something else out. Like, of course, that's true as well.
Yeah, it seems to me at that point the state should intervene.
Sure.
But you're right. The beating heart of this is let him die on the sidewalk. And problem solved, which,
sure,
just doesn't. That's kind of gross. You know what I mean? I mean, it makes you wonder how many Americans, right? If they were walking down the sidewalk and they saw someone ODing and there was Noxolone nearby, and they could just administer it, how many people would actually do it?
Every single person.
What percentage of the population?
100%.
You think? You think every person would do it?
Yes. You know what? Yes, I'm gonna stick with my answer. You maybe struggle there. No, I would, because when you're faced with actual reality, even the shittiest people, even the people online that would say the most ridiculous things, when you're faced with decisions in reality, like in real life, your decision making is just different. The amount of people who say the most heinous shit online and then show up to like your Thanksgiving, your family Thanksgiving, and they're the nicest cousin, that can happen all the time. So. Yeah, I think just in real life, your decision making would be different. And if you knew, let's be very specific here. If you knew someone was overdosing, this is what you said. You knew someone was overdosing, and you knew you could save them. I think 100% of people would. I think 100% of people would.
I don't think it's 100.
I think it's 100. I think I'm gonna choose to be more like Jesus. Go ahead, Satan.
Wow, you have a lot of faith in humanity. Then that's a good thing, if anything. I will say. Yeah. Just as a sidebar, my daily commute, I cut through a pretty rough part of town, and there's this one homeless dude I see very regularly. He's kind of regular to the area. Panhandles a lot, whatever. There's one time I had to cut loose from work because I think I was going to a dentist appointment, taking my route out, and I drive by this guy, and I see him, and he has his pants, he's basically almost fully naked, right? His pants are down his ankles. And he's like, his back is propped up against a utility pole because he's taking a shit. I don't know why I just whispered that. Like, but anyway, so he's taking a shit. And as I'm driving by, I see.
What a show.
Full butthole, balls, everything. And I gotta say, I think I would still. I was so upset about that. I'm just not ready for that. But I say that to say, even if I was walking down the street and I saw that guy ODing, I probably would still revive him, even though I'm very upset about that day still.
Yeah, I mean, you say probably, you would. It's to see that in real time. It's tricky.
But I only share that story to share what I think a lot of people feel the frustration is about, because there are a lot of.
You got a front row seat to someone defecating. That's another level.
This is a tough moment. It was a tough moment.
We're gonna show our privilege here, because people in like bigger cities are gonna be like, I see people pooping in the alley every day. It's like, sure. Well, I don't. So, but yeah.
Well, I don't, and this guy was. So it's like this road. It's this road where there's one direction on each side, and there's this big median strip with like grass and trees.
Sure, classic.
So he's like in between two roads, you know what I mean? And he's not trying to hide it all. And God bless, I think I saw more on him than I've seen on my own body my entire life.
That's when they know they've sent the care. No shame. They've sent the shame out of their body. There's none of it in there. It is what it is. Like
look,
we know. I'm a sad sack of a man, but I used to know someone who worked at a psych center, right? So heard some stories. So hey, people are out there, and sometimes there's places for them to go, like a psych center, but yeah, I don't think we do as good a job as other.
No, we don't. We don't.
Other societies
and I
on
think,
this planet, but
yeah, we could do a much better job in this country. And it makes you wonder too, if that's what the sentiment is, or if they truly are just trying to cut money by cutting this grant, right? Are they just trying to save money? Are they just snipping where they can? Or is there somebody who, in the administration, who this was their pet project? They hate that Narcan's available and that we're reviving people ODing, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels more like the latter because, dude, sometimes you for sure that most people, even the people that have an opposite, ideology of you, are not always coming in bad faith. Maybe sometimes, maybe never. Maybe they're always good faith. They're good people, But, for the, you know what I'm saying? Most people. And then sometimes people are Stephen Miller. And they're fucking disgusting dirtbags. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a ghoul. He is an actual ghoul. Just watching him speak, you get my skin
and you can see someone, and you can see someone
speak.
like him exist for just hating fucking homeless druggies, and they shouldn't have their lives saved. Which look, and the internet has clogged our brains with such bullshit, for sure, all of society. But take a step back, think about an actual human being there. Think about, I hate doing this, but a lot of people think about it in the ways that it affects them. Think about it actually being your relative. Maybe you had good times with them in the past. Someone's locked in there. You just want people to die? That makes no sense. That's bad. That's fucking bad.
Yeah.
These ghouls like Stephen Miller and other people like this exist for this are the ones making the decisions probably, and so they cut it. And let's say there's not even let's say there's not even ghouls. They just did this on accident. They're just hacking away and nobody looked into it. That's still awful. Think about what that means for everything else that's just getting hacked with no thought put behind it at all. So that's not good either. But
yeah.
Anyways, you got either ghoul or people who don't give a fuck and don't even research. Both are not great. Not great. I think ghouls probably worse, but go ahead. Yeah.
The only other thing I could think of, because again, it's a fresh story. RFK hasn't been questioned yet. I haven't really seen him say anything about this particular.
Yeah, this is the Latin Times pretty recently, I guess.
Yeah, I had to dig around a bit. I finally found a Vox Media article, which kind of had a little bit more information, but essentially, yeah, it's just part of.
Whoa, are we a misinformation of? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
My only other thought was maybe Narcan can be abused.
What?
And in my quick reading of it, well, because it makes you wonder, if it reverses an overdose, what does it do to a sober person, right?
Does it give you a high?
Not at all. It is specifically geared for just ODing, specifically on opiates. Opiates.
So it's just anti-venom for any specific snake, kind of, in a way.
Essentially,
it's just a fucking smooth brain way of looking at it, but we know I'm one.
It only interacts with the thing that it's trying to. Right. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. I was just impressed by that, but that's just an aside.
The ghoul who implemented this can KYS. That's the idea.
There you go.
That's the idea.